Welcome, everybody, and we are live here at performancestudios.com in Quincy, Massachusetts. You're watching Night Moves. I'm your host, Joshua Paul, and I have the very lovely Taylor joining me this week. Taylor, hello.
Oh, I'm not Miss America anymore.
Miss America, Miss America.
Darn.
Are you? You have on glasses this evening.
I do.
Are you having a hard
I
time
do.
seeing the screen?
So, unfortunately, my contact prescription is not going to be in for another week or so.
Oh,
and
all right. So you have the bifocals.
yeah.
All right. That's okay. That's
I've been
okay.
told they look like serial killer glasses.
The Psycho Killer.
Yeah.
From the Talking Head, Psycho Killer.
Yeah, why not, right?
Gotta
keep things exciting.
Yeah, well, that's always seems to be exciting here when we have our guests on that have something to contribute, and if not, we deliver. So
Absolutely.
well, it's summertime. Mask mandate has been lifted here in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
I've been fully vaccinated. I've been vaxxed.
Ooh.
Pfizer. Yes, Pfizer.
Very nice. Very nice.
And so people are able to kind of sort of go back to their old selves again in their lives.
Yeah. Slowly but surely, I think we're getting there. We're starting to get there, I think.
I had to. It was funny because I got in the car tonight and I'm driving here, and I always keep my mask on my stick shift. Mm-hmm. And I look down and I'm like, cripes. So I had to go to CVS.
Yeah.
And the looks I got when I walked in without a mask, was looking at me. I'm like, I need a mask.
Well, this is the thing, right? So certain places don't actually expect you to wear a mask. One place in particular I do know, TJ Maxx. They are on top of it. You go in there and they're like, hey, mask.
Yeah, where's your
and you're
mask?
like, oh, all right.
Okay.
But this is honestly how I've been going about things right now. I'll keep one in my pocket or whatever.
Sure.
But if some places want it, some places don't. And not for nothing, but if you expect me to wear one, then you should at least have them at the door.
Agreed.
Because so many people are walking in without masks, and then they're like, oh, well, you don't have a mask, so you're going to have to go back to your car. It's not how that works. You can't, you got to practice what you preach,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's... You're fortunate to be in an age bracket that was probably last on the list to get one, and so, and in my profession, in my day job, being in the fitness business, we had to get one. So
yeah,
so out of respect to my clients, for myself, I mean, I didn't have a problem, getting the vaccine. I mean, this isn't like the 1920s. You can't just put stuff inside, the vaccine and stick people around the world and people not figuring out what's in it. But then you got all these conspiracy theorists, people thinking oh, there's microchips in there and they're tracking me. I'm like, they're already doing that through your cell phone, you stupid.
Right, right, yeah.
And those people usually fall under the QAnon followers, but
yeah.
But lucky you to be young and beautiful and the skin's tight and being a woman in today's world, man, oh man.
Listen, it's a lot harder than you think.
I don't think it's hard, honey. Come on,
really
please.
is.
Listen,
and you know what? Maybe it's not. I just haven't figured out how to work the system yet. Maybe that's what it is.
Luckily for you, you have a lot of time ahead of you.
Yeah.
From all the followers on your Instagram, they seem to think so.
Yeah. Okay.
So, unlike myself, it's a lot harder for men. It's a lot harder for men. I'm sorry, it is.
I
definitely,
disagree.
No, I mean, we don't have to give birth or anything like that.
Yeah, but I think also especially when it comes to relationships, it's very hard to find somebody that's on the same page as you are.
Well, that takes time and it takes connection. I mean, it just doesn't. And it's not always about sex. It's
definitely not. And you know what? If you're basing a relationship off of that, then I'm sorry to tell you, but you shouldn't be pursuing a relationship if that's all you're looking for.
Well, no. Well, yeah, I think there's a certain age bracket for which people are doing that, which, seems to be a lot of them on Tinder like that.
Yeah, I mean, Tinder, that's what it's for. That's
not necessarily. I think it's changed now. I think, that is the number one dating app in the world. And
it is, but I think it's because people specifically use it to hook up.
Well, I mean, I think
that's what it's known for.
Well, I mean, any dating site could do that, I would assume, right?
Yeah, but so for instance, when I was single, I was going and I was on Tinder, I was on Bumble, I was on Hinge, I was on Facebook dating at one point.
Wow, that's you were
like I was
really...
just I wanted to find somebody that I thought suited me and that we could, build and grow together. That's what I want, you know? Yeah. But unfortunately, a lot of people on these apps, and in particular, the reason I liked Bumble and Hinge more than Tinder is because it had an option in your bio to show what you were looking for. So that before the conversation even started, it would say relationship, not sure, marriage, a fling. So that way you would know kind of going into it before you even had a conversation with the person and wasted your time, so to speak,
I just swiped, so.
I know, but it's more than that for me.
Nope. Well, I think it's good that we're having this conversation because it leads into our first guest for the evening.
Yeah.
Who happens to be a relationship coach.
Oh, exciting!
Yeah.
All right.
But before we do that, we're going to go to a commercial. So for those of you that have been just tuning in, we're going to talk about relationships and music. So we're going to go to commercial, and then when we come back, we're going to have our first guest on, who is a relationship coach. So tune in.
Well done, my friend. I've been practicing. Blackberry hint water tastes more like fresh blackberries than the blackberries in my pie.
Really?
Yeah. Taste for yourself.
I believe I will.
And?
Delicious. Just blackberries, no sugary stuff. My cherry hint water tastes more like cherries than the ones in my pie.
I'll be the judge of that. You're right. Cherry hint water tastes more like cherries, not like that sugary cherry stuff in your pie.
Seems impossible.
We should double check.
Hint, water with a touch of true fruit flavor.
STEM is the discipline of hard numbers, precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to get messy or just mess it up. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to try. Dare to fail. Dare to keep daring. Dare to learn the difference between organic, sedimentary, and non-foliated metamorphic rock. Get outside, find those rocks. Dare to be homeroom famous, a high school fable. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. And for the love of STEM, dare bigger. Dare to code, dare to invent, dare to explore, dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Don't give it time to reload it. Bump all the rules, do it your own way. Oh, the conversations I have with the mirror. I just wanna turn all the way up. They be like, hey, what you gonna do with your life? Do what you like. Whatever I want, whatever I want.
And we're live.
Back.
We're back tonight. Moves here at performancestudios.com in Quincy, Massachusetts. Joined by my lovely host Taylor, who's looking very studious this evening with her. What are those? What are those? Are those daisies? Flowers?
I don't know
stars?
what they are, honestly. They look like a combination of a couple of different flowers. But yeah, they're definitely flowers. And we always coordinate our outfits without even speaking. I think that's really cool.
I think it's the dark hair thing.
It's gotta be.
I think it's the dark hair thing.
Dark hair, dark soul, dark outfit vibes.
I'm the dark knight and you're the dark angel.
Ooh. It's
yes.
exciting.
Well,
So who's our first guest?
So for those of you that were watching before the commercial break, we were kind of going off about dating sites and relationships. And so it just so happens that our first guest this evening, who will be joining us live by Skype, is a relationship coach that is going to school us on the ins and outs of dating, what to do, what not to do, things that maybe you can fix, things that you can do to improve your relationship or find the right one. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi guys, thank you for having me, for starters. My name is Imal Jabara. I'm a relationship coach that focuses on helping men and women overcome their traumas around dating through self-discovery.
Oh, that must be such a wonderful exploration.
Drama. What a topic, huh?
There must be a lot
Perfect.
of ahas going on and boo-hoos and Kleenex.
Oh, dear.
How did you get involved with this?
Honestly,
No, lie to
it
us.
started off as a
Like
joke.
most relationships. Lie to us. Right.
Oh, somebody's bitter.
It's going to be a tough one
no.
tonight. I'm just warning you, buddy. So
Yeah.
you better be
No,
ready.
I love it.
All right, good.
I love it.
All
Love
right,
it.
good.
It actually started off as a joke.
Oh,
All right.
were you drunk?
So, no,
Okay,
never that.
all right.
Never that.
Okay. All right, you smoke. You're a pot smoker.
No, I don't smoke or drink. None of that. So.
Oh, so you're totally
all.
aware all the time.
Oh, of course. I like I said, I like to be aware of my surroundings. Also, it makes it a lot easier to like attract people when you're drunk. And
Sure.
I don't, you know what I mean? I just want to have my senses intact.
Sure.
Intact. No, but it actually. So I actually came across a book a long time ago, and so initially, like a while back, I thought I did pretty well in like college and in high school with women. But the problem is in high school and women, what I did was I was a soccer team captain, and I had like the skinny boy abs. You know when the skinny boy just doesn't eat a lot, but he just has like the little 6-pack, and now you think you work out. You know what I'm
you have
talking
like no
about.
hips; it just goes straight down to the ankles.
Exactly. So I attracted a lot of girls because of that, and because I was a soccer team captain. I thought I had game, when in reality I didn't. So when I graduated high school, I was going out and I'm getting rejected by every single girl. So then one day I'm just in the kitchen eating my Nutella, and then sitting there, and I hear this Pandora ad. And this Pandora ad is like telling me, oh, this guy can talk to all these women. He can seduce all these women. He's married to all this, like, yada, yada, like, selling it, basically. And I'm like, I hear this ad, and I'm like, all right, I'm not going to read a book to learn how to talk to women. And then I hear that ad 6 more times that day. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll read 1 page. Or maybe I'll read 2 pages. And then I ended up reading the whole entire book. And the things I learned, I was like, oh, my God, this is a science. And then I realized that was one of the worst books ever written on dating.
Sure.
And then I started reading the good books.
Sure.
And then by the time I got to college, I was a freshman talking to all the seniors, bringing seniors back to the freshman quad. And then my friends came to me and they're like, how are you doing this? Like, what's the secret? And I wasn't going to tell them that I read a book on how to talk to women. So I'm like, you know what? Bring $5 and come to the common room as a joke.
Wait, didn't they make a movie about this?
They did.
They did. I saw. What's the name of the movie?
I can't think off the top of my head what the name of the specific movie
Like
is,
the
but
kid
there's
was-
also a TV show that's on Netflix.
Oh,
that does this.
That's what it was. That, like
Sex Education.
Yes, the kid was gonna get his ass kicked by the big, jock boyfriend, and then he later brought him and his girlfriend together, and like, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a whole thing.
Whole thing.
It's a magical story, just
Yeah.
like how yours began.
Yeah.
Continue.
Continue.
No, so I told them as a joke, and they came, and I was like, oh, well, I really have to do this. So I literally went to my room, got like a little whiteboard, and gave them their first seminar to like 4 people. $5, I made $20 that day, and it was a complete acting. I taught them what I knew, and these guys were getting success. They started like actually attracting the women they wanted, and then word started spreading around campus, and then they started like talking to their engineering friends and lawyers, the ones that graduated, and then I like the business grew bigger. But then I kind of left it be, and I left to New York. And then somehow, some way, it found me again. I ended up working for the top dating coach company in New York City, and I'm the head coach for the top dating coach company in New York City. And then the rest is history now. Here we are. And, yeah.
So you're Skyping to us in from New York City.
Yeah.
Ah.
At the moment.
Okay. All right. That's great. You have a YouTube channel? Like you doing any little events?
How do you get your information out to people? Like how are you teaching them now? Like instead of it being in front of a whiteboard, how are you teaching them now?
All virtual. My business is all online. So basically, you actually just caught me. I've been traveling the world for the past couple of months. I was in Colombia 2 weeks ago. I was in San Fran last week. I'm going to Portugal in another 2 weeks. All my clients are online, and I get my clients through basically my ad. I've been published in like different like articles, so people see me through those ads. But I also have Facebook ads as well, and I just do marketing all over the place. Plus the company that I also am. I also still do work with the New York City company. I have my own company. And I have the New York City company. So basically, I help both friends as well. So basically, I'm just traveling and I teach people, men and women, kind of how to succeed in dating.
Okay.
Do women get aroused by this when they hear about you doing this? Do you like?
I was going to ask how many women from each place that you're traveling to you have under your belt.
Going straight into it. Yo, at least, you know what I mean? Like going, like, I don't know what kind of jokes I can make on this. You know what I mean?
You
So
can listen. This is a very open and welcome area. Let's just get right down to business.
I'm like, at least spit on it. You know what I mean? You're putting it in right away. Like, please.
Yeah, I know. You gotta work your way up. You can't just force it. You know?
Exactly.
Things have to happen naturally. But speaking of happening naturally, would you consider like your dating advice to be something that is like a natural thing that like people should know common sense wise? Do you find that it's harder for people to kind of switch that on and off?
Not at all. With society, and you guys just kind of talked about this a little bit in the beginning, where society is now conditioned in a way to make a lot of the things that might seem common sense, they're not common sense anymore. So in a sense, we're actually forgetting how to genuinely be our best self in front of other people because of you have social media, you have the social pressures of the world. So basically, they're telling you not to do specific things that are actually crucial for your success in attracting other people. But it's all about kind of like the extremes. And so in a sense, it's becoming actually more difficult to date.
Oh, 100,000 billion trillion %. The problem is, I think, well, one of the biggest problems is the instant gratification. That's the generation that we're living in right now. You know, like I had this conversation with a restaurant owner the other day because he was, struggling with business and he needed a little bit of some advice. So I kind of compared it to, if you're going to go and wait 35 minutes for some sushi, a lot of people in today's generation are going to end up going down the street to McDonald's, waiting 2 seconds for a hamburger that's cheaper, that maybe is not as great, but they got what they want in the moment, and that's what mattered. So it's kind of like that with the dating world now. It's like people are always looking for the next best thing, even if they have the greatest thing that they could have possibly had in their life in front of them.
Yeah, it's called swipe life.
Yeah, well,
it's
right.
So easy.
In the old days, I can't. It drives me nuts.
Listen, in the old days, you two aren't old enough to remember or to know this, but in the old days, if you wanted to meet somebody, you'd have to go to the bar or the club, right? Like night out at the Roxbury.
You guys didn't have AIM. You didn't.
Night at the Roxbury. Like you'd go, you get dressed up, and you roll with your boys, and there would be this sort of physical sort of dance that would occur. And so,
not for nothing, but nobody has rhythm now anywhere. Like.
Okay. Well, have
you seen some of these people in a club? I mean, maybe besides you, Joshua. But have you seen these people try? It's dead. That's it.
So in the old days, that's what you'd have to do. But these days, it's just like, oh, boom. Okay. So if you're not happy or if you're bored, I mean, like I can't tell you how many times it was just
boredom.
Like, oh yeah, I never came off. I was just bored.
I had to use carrier pigeon. That's how old I am.
Like, okay, well, I'm not far behind you. Okay,
the rotary phones set up your dates.
Oh, seriously, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to talk. They can't see me right now, but I used to talk hours with girls on late night on the phone. I loved it. It was real communication.
I kind of envy you for that, Michael, because it's really hard to get somebody to pick up the phone nowadays.
I know, isn't it?
Everyone's text.
Afraid to talk
Everybody
to
wants
people
message.
these days. Isn't that scary?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Right.
People have become very kind of like introverted. Like introverted extroverts was
Actually,
like a term
that's a good
that
question
I used.
for him. How does communication work in today's dating society? Real communication.
Well, that's the thing. I personally am not a big fan of online dating, and I tell people texting, the only reason that you should be texting is to set up a date. I don't believe in getting to know somebody through text. I think that's It's a very bad way to get to know somebody because you don't actually get to see their mannerisms. You don't get to see their tonality. You don't actually get to see a different side of them of actually who you want to be with. So texting should be used just to set up the first date or the first phone call. After the first date or the first phone call, then you can actually start getting to know somebody through text because at that point, you already kind of get a sense of who they are as an individual by the way they talk to you on the first interaction or second interaction. And now you can build a deeper connection because now you have an idea of who they are, you know?
Do you believe? I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead, continue.
No, and I want to kind of go off something that you guys said previously about the idea of instant gratification. So, and this is going to be kind of crazy to hear, but this is romance didn't exist until 200 years ago. All right, and people are now making romance the sole reason to hold a relationship. All right, when you make romance as a foundation of a relationship, it's bound to fail because.
Elaborate on what you mean by romance.
So romance is basically kind of, it's like you're creating an idea of how the relationship is supposed to be. You have an expectation. You see Hollywood movies, you see magazines, you see articles, you see all this stuff in the media and instant gratification. Get the life that you want if you find the partner you want. And when you do that, you're basically sacrificing fulfillment for excitement. That's why you have guys, when guys and girls, when guys fall for the bad guys, and I'll explain that after. Why girls fall for bad guys and why guys usually, like the good guys, will always get hurt. Well, the truth is, it's because the bad boys give them the excitement, but they don't give them the compatibility. And then the nice guys give them the compatibility, but they don't give them the excitement. So it's about finding that balance and realizing, all right, what's more important to you long term? The excitement's great for the next 2 months, hook up, whatever, amazing. But if you want to have a healthy relationship with
Oh,
I think we might have lost him.
we might have lost the connection.
Oh. We'll wait to see if he comes back. If not, I'll try and reconnect. Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is.
Okay.
cut off. Where did I cut off?
You were talking about the bad guy and the like the dynamic there.
You're talking about the bad boys that turn on the girls because of the obvious.
Oh my God! Can we just pay attention real quick to the to the comment that Brian just commented?
It's the truth. It's the truth. Okay, it's the truth. And you do bring up a good point about compatibility, but I think that you can have a little both. It's true. But anyways, continue. You're the expert.
No. But that's the thing. Those are the ideal guys. The guys, and again, you ask. It's very difficult to find a competent man nowadays. I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you. Yeah, the competent men are hard to find because a lot of these guys, they don't know what they want, and they basically, because it's so easy to kind of get sex and these women. What's the point of a guy putting in work and actually wanting to commit to you if he's getting everything he wants from you without actually having to commit to you? There's so
what's
many.
the term? Why go buy the milk or something like that when you can get the cow or something like that?
Exactly. And I tell women when I work with them, I'm like, deny him sex until he commits.
The 90-day rule
is gold.
There's a guy that it came to my attention. I was going through. I subscribe to this guy named Derek Jackson.
Oh yeah,
and
that one.
And so he's. I don't know if this name happens to ring a bell with you. But I was sort of drawn into some of the things that he was saying and whatnot because there was a certain type of dialogue or terminology or connection that I was looking for. And then I found out that he'd been cheating on his wife for a few months or 6 months or whatever, and that nobody even knew that he had a wife. And it was like, I can't be getting advice from this dude. So, and the guy will not stop my subscription, my $37.95 per month. So now I got to get a hold of my credit card company. So, that's all. But
I love it.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Listen, there is a level of excitement. I know about this. There is a level of excitement, and so I think when a man reaches a certain age, and it's an age thing, to where he's just like, you know what, I've had enough. Like, I've had enough of just running around there. Like, I want to get serious, but you don't lose that edge, And sometimes a guy can kind of sacrifice that edge, to show that he wants to be serious. And I think sometimes the women might lose interest because that was what initially drew them in, right?
Yeah, but it's all about looking for the right person. You know what I mean? Like if you're not necessarily like looking in the wrong place, but if somebody that you're dating, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, obviously, but somebody that you're dating is all about the hype and the excitement and the instant gratification, the craziness of why people are so excited to get to know each other in the beginning. Once that's taken away, obviously you're going to see what their true intentions really are. So it's kind of like,
very true.
You really have to kind of take things that people say with a grain of salt. I mean, I've kind of learned that the hard way. And it seems like there's really no age either. Like I know you said like certain, older guys, when it gets to a point, they want something serious. But I mean, I've dated a wide age range, and I've met some 23-year-olds that are more mature than some 33-year-olds that I've met, and vice versa. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to put a label and say all or none,
No,
Joshua, you look like you have something to say.
I could.
This could be
a 2 hour. This could be a 2 hour show, man. I could dump a whole truckload of stuff on your lap. But
we could go into it.
So what are you working on now? What are you doing? Are you a book, TV show? You traveling? What?
Yeah. So I actually just published my first dating book, which is Becoming a High Caliber Woman: The System to Attracting the Men You Actually Want.
That's it.
That's
a pretty serious cover page you got on there.
Statement. Kind of a statement.
That's
the whole point. You know what I mean? The whole statement is it's all there. How do you feel about that?
I feel it's kind of degrading, to be honest with you. Like I mean, you gotta heel stepping on the face of a man. I don't think that's cool.
And you have to catch people's attention.
That's a good one.
All right.
Caught my attention. I'm gonna buy the book.
Well, that's the whole idea. All right, you got to look at it from a place where it's
clickbait.
All right,
clickbait. I like that. Clickbait.
You know what I mean? What's gonna pull people? Because I think the content in there is coming from a pure place.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I don't believe in manipulation tactics. I don't believe in any of the stuff. And I know. Have you guys heard of pickup?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with pickup is it works for men and women. And the problem with it is you create a fake facade and create an identity of yourself that the person falls in love with. And then when they realize who you truly are, they dump you. And then you get heartbroken, you get depressed, you get anxious. And then basically it's all fake.
Isn't that, no, there's another word for pickup. Come on, it's something like fraud. I don't know. Like there's a whole slew of
hypocrite.
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, yeah. I mean,
depending on the situation.
I mean,
I honestly just think that it's the best way to go about trying to find somebody that you actually want. You need to show who you really are. I'm not going to try and make somebody fall in love with somebody that I'm actually not.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because who am I to attract somebody off of somebody that I'm not actually
Sure.
That's not actually me.
Sure.
So
So you show them all the bad stuff first, and if they take the bad stuff, then you give them the good stuff.
I mean, not necessarily throw it all out on the table, but I mean, you definitely have to be like, here, listen, here's the good and the bad.
I call it.
I'm a human being.
I call it the good, the bad, the ugly, and the sexy.
Well, there you go.
So, I actually kind of disagree. All right, and the reason for that is a lot of coaches will tell you, "Oh, be yourself. That's the best thing you can do." Yeah, no. All right, it's more about being the best version of yourself.
Of course, yeah. No.
All right, because when you meet these guys or girls, you wanna have them at least invest enough in you to know that your pros outweigh the cons.
Absolutely.
When people go like if you have a very awkward or something that's not attractive trait, don't say it on the first date. Don't say it on the second date.
Right.
Please,
No, obviously not. But just be honest with who you are. You know what I mean? I'm not going to pretend that I'm living in a penthouse somewhere when I'm still living with my parents. It's you know what I mean? Just stay true to who you really are.
Yeah. How do you deal with dating people who live with their parents?
I personally don't. But it's at a place where it's I feel like you leaving your parents is a step up. I get it. There are specific cultures that you have to. They stay with their parents until they get married. That's understandable.
Sure.
But if if that's not part of your culture, I feel like you living by yourself or you living outside of your parents' home is another step of independence.
Sure.
You know, and
Interesting.
I don't want to be that first experience for you.
I've always seen the date women that still live at home.
Tough one.
I mean, listen, I'm not really home. So for me, my goal is to not move out to rent. I want to move out to own. So I'm not going to pay rent for something that could possibly be a mortgage.
Sounds like, that's dating, isn't it?
but that's different. See, that is attractive. That for me is super attractive. If I was on a date with a girl and she told me, hey, listen, I'm staying with my parents because I'm saving my money so I can buy my house, you have me. I'm listening.
Until she moves in with you.
You're showing me, well, now she's showing me that she has bigger dreams, bigger visions. She has a bigger impact. And for me personally, I want somebody who's going to see my vision, but also help me get there so I can help her get there as well. I'm looking for bigger picture. I'm not looking for somebody who's going to move to office.
Yeah, you want a ride or die partner in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if she can handle her own finances without me,
absolutely.
Amazing. You're showing me the good traits that I'm looking for.
Absolutely. I wish this conversation was able to be longer. I mean, this is really good.
Tell our folks at home where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram, Imad Speaks, IMAD and then Speaks. And my website is Becoming High Caliber. You can get my book on my website. Check out my stuff. Reach out, DM if you have any questions. I always love talking to people and kind of giving them advice and just helping them out.
Wow. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you. Definitely
Absolutely.
Some very similar viewpoints. So it's good to know that I have my head in the right place.
You are our first relationship coach that we've spoken to.
I love that. It makes me happy. I'm the virginity. I popped the virginity. I love it.
You did. You got it. Night moves.
Is that in your book? Right.
Yes.
Was it pricked with the heel or was it pricked with something else?
Lovely.
We'll save that for the next time.
We'll save it for the next book. Well, listen, you've been really great. You're a great guy, and it's good to see that you've taken a lot of interest in this to try and help people come together in life because, I truly believe that there's always somebody for each of us somewhere out there in the world.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. You guys are amazing. Definitely fun host. I can tell you that. I love dark humor. I love it.
Thanks for joining us. It's been fun.
Thank you so much, my friend. And for those of you at home, tune in to follow our relationship guest. But until then, we're going to cut the commercial.
Huh. They made this blackberry taste exactly like blackberry hint water.
They made this watermelon taste like hint water, too.
How'd you farmer wizards make all this fruit taste just like hint water?
Well, we triple irrigate our fruit with hint water in the world's largest biosphere, which modifies the DNA to taste exactly like hint water.
Really?
No.
What a sarcastic farmer.
Hint, water with a touch of true fruit flavor.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here.
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Hi. Can I get the now bar, please?
No problem. $1.
Have a good one.
Got it.
Hi, can I get a now bar, please?
$1.
Thanks.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Hey, let me get a now bar.
Sure. $1.
Appreciate you.
You got it.
How's it going? Can I get a now bar?
Hey, stop right there! Get down on the ground out of your car right there! Show me your head! Now!
Show some respect. Show you give a damn. Show the world how it's done. Show them that when your community needed you the most, you showed up. Mask up, America.
All right, we're back to Night Moves live here at performerstudios.com in Quincy, Massachusetts. Joined by the very lovely Taylor. She has on her glasses this evening.
I do.
Because she can't see.
I can't see. Luckily, our last guest has helped me see a little clearer.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the heel in the face.
Yeah, you weren't a fan.
No, I am not a fan of that cover. I think he could have. I mean, well, he's trying to do the shock and awe thing, and I can understand that. I mean, he's trying to make money, so what does he care? I mean, you know.
Yeah,
but, you know.
To each their own.
To each
But
their own.
maybe our next guest will put a little pep in your step.
Yeah, I think he's gonna show us his vocal talents and his skill sets. He's a local hip hop artist here in Boston. Let's go ahead and welcome our first guest.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Second guest.
Well, second, first hip hop guest.
Okay.
Please welcome our second guest. Go ahead, tell our audience at home who you are and what you do.
Hi, my name is Suriel. I'm a hip hop artist from Boston, Massachusetts, and now I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much for having me, guys. Thank you.
It's nice to have you. So tell us a little bit of how you started off in music.
I've always been writing music since I was 12 years old, but probably 2017, I put out my first demo tape, and it was received very well. And I was doing a bunch of open mics, and they led to bigger opportunities. And then I dropped my first project, Blank Slate, in 2018, and that was that was ranked one of the top albums in Massachusetts that year, and I recorded most of it in the garage. So,
oh wow, congratulations!
Yeah, so thank
you.
Big
deal.
Yeah, thank you. So that was pretty exciting. And then I just put out my recent project it's been almost a year, pretty much. It's been October last year when I put out my last project, which also came with a short film. And in the first month, we had 500,000 streams on it on Spotify, which was pretty amazing. So
nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Very
all
cool.
out of your garage.
Nah, this one was recorded in, we did it really in the studio, but most of it was actually in the garage, right? Like the writing of it. Yeah,
That's great. That sounds like an Eminem story.
It's
Yes,
cool, man.
well,
it was fun, man.
Started from the bottom, now we hear.
Pretty
Isn't
much.
that something that was quoted once, a long time ago?
Yeah, pretty much.
What sorts of subjects are you writing your songs on? What are you singing about?
Yeah, I mean, I try to keep a very honest approach to my music. I don't really try to boast. I mean, I do rap about motivating people is mainly my main objective. So the message throughout all of my songs is to try to motivate people and explain that I've been in tough situations, and just a lot of people have, and kind of show them that you can find your way out of it. That's the majority of what my music is about.
That's big.
Inspiring stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh, good. What sort of motivates you to write these songs or sing these songs? I mean, is there somebody that you kind of look up to? Or?
Yeah, I mean, the reason I started making music was because I was going through a lot of tough times in my life. The first time I started writing music, I lived in a shelter home with my mom. You know what I mean? I was 12 years old, and that was the first time where I felt like I didn't have anybody to speak to, and I kind of needed to find an outlet for myself. I played sports and stuff, and I was good at sports, but that wasn't really my calling for me, during those times. So for me, it was writing music, and because a lot of the lessons I learned, I didn't grow up with a father in my home, so a lot of the lessons I learned were from actually hip hop songs, the deeper songs, and that made a big impact on me. And then I decided that I wanted to follow suit and kind of motivate people the same way it motivated me.
That's heavy. Holy shit. Yeah. That's I'm just saying. I mean, yeah. I've had a tough life, but that's just when you think you got it tough, you listen to somebody else or you hear their story, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
All right, that's where they're taking it. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's the special thing about music, though, is that it really doesn't have a language. Obviously, yes, when people are speaking, there's the language there, but music, I think, can be felt by everyone.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's very broad spectrum that you can reach.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's talk about something positive. That was
you're
that
well,
no, that was well, that's heavy. I mean, when you're talking about going through a tough time with your family, and that's sort of what gave you an opportunity to express yourself when you were young, and you developed the skill. And what's your age now?
I'm 25 now.
Okay, so you're still young. So I mean, so now you're really good. I mean, you spent a decade or so, writing and in performing. Where have you performed?
The last time I did a performance, it was actually the project that I put out is called What Can I Say? And it was the short film is based off of my journey to my first headlining show, which was the last time I actually did a big performance. Besides, I did a live one recently, but that was at the Middle East upstairs. That was my first headlining show. It was April 2019. I pretty much sold it out, so that was exciting. And so the short film is about my journey to that show, because right before the show, a week before the show, I had a seizure. And was this the first time you had a seizure? Yeah, I've never had a seizure in my life before. I'm like totally healthy. But what happened was I had been working full time. I used to work at a dealership. Yeah. And I was working full time, and then I would go to the studio for like 6 to 8 hours a night, and I was sleeping like 4 hours a night on average, and then I was drinking like 6 coffees a day just to get through, and that all caught up to me, and I had a seizure. So it was crazy because it was a week before my first show, so I was super excited about this time in my life, and then I was in the hospital for 2 days before, the week before, and they kind of just ran all kinds of tests and were like, hey, man, you just need to sleep more. Like, stress-induced heart attack. Yeah, you just pretty much need to sleep. And I was like, all right. So that day I had a heart monitor on because they wanted to make sure my heart was okay. I left the hospital, and then the day I got out, my music video was playing on BET for the first time. So it was pretty crazy. And then I had the show in a week. So I took like the next week to just rest and do rehearsal, and that was all I did for a week, and then did the show, and it was amazing. And so nobody knew that I had went through that, and so what I did was I made a whole film, about the whole situation, and it kind of captures, from when I was in the hospital to getting home to like not being sure if I was going to be able to do the show or not, to persevering through it.
Wow. That's really beautiful that you're able to take like the pain and the traumas that you've been through and like turn them into, some beautiful music. I assume I haven't heard it yet, but I'm sure that we will be.
Can we, Big Mike? Can we play some of his music?
Absolutely. Yeah. Which can we play? What Can I Say first?
Yeah,
is
play
that
What
good?
Can I Say? Sure.
Okay, let's do that one first.
Hey, what can I say?
Made it far, but remained dust. Straight out the mud, but we came up. She hope I never get famous. Switching the speed like a change up. Money law get too real. That's when I focus and double up. Currency bringing me new bills. Hard times never humble us. Loyal to you if you show me love. It's for my that stayed up. Too far, never coming down. This is what memories made of. Living like this made up. Risking too much, I cannot lose. I've been up for like 36. Long as the outcome is revenue. I'm taking the places I never knew. I look down the view, it's incredible. She tell me she love me, she want my name. While I take her off of the pedestal. These days I ain't laying back. Feel like I'm about to see heaven soon. Angels be watching my every step. I think the devil is watching too. V6 to the V12. Made a wave like a seashell. Made a wave at the end of the day. It still gotta pay the retail. All business, but I mean well. Get the best of my clientele. Be talking but never live it. I live this shit, I never tell. From the bottom and I came a long way. Used to talking down, now it's nothing left to say. Cause some people off, we had to go our separate ways. I be getting to it down, got no time to waste. What can I say? What can I say? Built it from the ground, came a long way. No, they see me now, what can I say? Me and all my brothers, not the type to play it safe. See me rolling at the rate I'm going, they just tryna see break down. These days I don't talk much, cause I know that can't relate now. Tell the truth when you talking to me, I can tell you phony, I can tell the lies. I can tell that it's coming for me, but the problem is that they ain't qualified. I've been on the grind, now they gotta pay the overtime. Tatted on you so I know it's mine. started acting different on me. Those are ones that's getting left behind. I see better when the bills paid. That's the type of that give me peace of mind. I see better when my brother's eating. I know loyalty hard to find. To make it this far, it's too hard to climb. It's deeper than in dollar signs. I just cannot get a break from it. Working like I'm running out of time. They all got something to say to me, but look at their face when it's coming true. I just been putting the faith on them. Different day when it's normal. The bottom and I came a long way. Used to talking down, now it's nothing left to say. Cause some people off, we had to go our separate ways. I be getting to it down, got no time to waste. What can I say? What can I say? Built it from the ground, came a long way. Know they see me now, so what can I say? Me and all my brothers, not the type to play it safe.
That's vibey.
Awesome, thank you.
I like it. Okay.
You know what I like about it?
What's that, man?
The truth behind it?
Well, you're not. Well, for starters, you're a handsome-looking dude. That was a very good photo of you, and it wasn't. I don't know if I can say this live, but you weren't like shooting them up, banging them up,
right,
effing them up, which, you know, I mean, in your community, a lot of people sing of that sort of stuff, and so, like, for me, I can't connect with that. Like, it just doesn't work for me, and so, you know, I think for people like you to sing the opposite of that, you know, I think it's good.
Awesome.
I think it's good.
Thank you. I mean, I think that's one of the things that kind of helps you know, set me apart from a lot of the people, just even in the community. Like, a lot of people just rap about the same type of things.
Oh, yeah, Hennessy and girls in bikinis.
Right. I prefer to just talk about, like, situations in my life, like, that are more relatable. I think that's what helps people connect with my music.
Smart, man.
And that's why I do to, like, the story too. Like, that was the most vulnerable I've ever been in my life, to, like, share, you know, a situation like that and just put it out. So I've just been getting a lot of people, you know, relating to it or telling me about a situation that they went through and stuff like that. So it's exciting to be able to motivate people, you know?
It's surreal.
I think the shirt that you were wearing was a very bold statement. Like, it was a very, like, it was deep. You know what I mean?
That was the merch for the.
Can we show that picture again, Big Mike? The one he was wearing the T-shirt? Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on a true story.
So,
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, the whole short film, the whole project was based on a true story. So I felt like that was something that I wanted to make sure was, you know, pretty straightforward. So we put that on the front of the T-shirt, and then we put "What Can I Say," which is the title of the 3-track project that we put out recently.
There you go. Is there a way for, like, people to buy that? You said it's merch, right?
Yeah.
So where can they find your stuff?
So on my website, so Suriel SURIEL781.com. You'll be able to find some merch, and, you know, you'll be able to, like, put your email in, and we follow up with everything that's coming out and everything else that we're working on.
Cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
All right, so, like, you've done any touring and anything?
I haven't done a tour yet, and I think, you know, the first time that I had the kind of, you know, backing or you know, people involved and listening to my music was the first time on this project, which was all during this whole thing. So
Sure.
So once everything's kind of settled down, I think we're gonna be able to do a tour. So I'm definitely looking forward to being able to do
Fall
that.
and winter.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, like, your music is very obviously motivational.
Yeah.
What is it that, like, motivates you? You know what I mean? To keep pushing, to keep doing the music, because the industry is a really hard industry to be in.
Yeah, I think you know, first and foremost, like, it's something that I do. It's not even something that I do for fun or something that I just do it every day. So it's not really like it's just something that's part of me. So I just do it every day, and I get inspired by, you know, when I hear some of my favorite artists drop music, or I get inspired from just getting better at making music. You know, I play the piano now. Like, I'm adding new elements of musicality and understanding music so that I can try to take it to a higher level. I think, you know, every project that I've dropped, I've grown in a certain aspect and things like that, but the music that I'm making now inspires me. Like, just riding around the city, just listening to my music inspires me. So as long as I'm feeling inspired, I just keep making music, you know?
That's really cool.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you, man.
I mean, you know, the world's been turned on its head.
Yeah.
For, you know, a year and a half. Mm-hmm. You know, I think as a society in the world has, you know, they've been sheltered.
Yeah.
And so when you're home, you gotta keep yourself moving, right? You gotta always be moving forward, onward, upward. So good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you.
It's a big deal.
You know, music. You got to take time, right? I've always respected musicians. You know, I've always wanted to, be some level of musician. I'm a performer. I'm an MC. I do stuff on stage and stuff. I think maybe, you're never too old. I mean, somebody in my family, he's 76 and he's learning how to play the piano now.
That's awesome, man.
But, just do it while you're young. Do it while you're young, because when you get older, it's much harder. Like, you work, in a relationship, then you have a kid.
Right.
And then suddenly, unless you're making money from this, it becomes much harder to do,
Yeah, man. No, I mean, we do it all the time. So, I mean, we've been putting together some great music. Like, this is the first time I'm working with a lot of high-level people around me to help elevate the music. So I have next single coming out very soon. We should have the final track done probably end of the week. So it's called Life of the Party. And it's something that is a very powerful message as far as as far as my songs. And I think it's something that I'm really looking forward to releasing, because I think it's the best song I ever made. And I also want to make a short film to that. I really like making movies. Like, that's pretty awesome. So
movies are cool.
Writing short films and putting them together is pretty awesome.
Well, we have some music from you, not to cut you off,
yeah,
Ms. Taylor. But Big Mike, can you go ahead and play another video for us?
So this one is called La La. This is the second track off the project.
Yeah. On a mission to go the distance, they treat you different. Back when ain't nobody would listen, I followed intuition. It's me against the odds, y'all never been my competition. I keep it moving, seeing progress is my new addiction. With thinking I'm focused on taking ownership. Did it with all my brothers, the same ones I got diplomas with. Living out all these moments, I never take it for granted. I just take what been handed and flip it and take advantage. I'm on the rise like my standards, they tryna drain all my stamina. Don't fit the picture, they do it all for the cameras. Y'all a bunch of weirdos that be dressing up like characters. I'm in a different league, this a completely different narrative. Money talk imperative, can I make comparisons? I just wanted all my this is all American. Want to smoke with me, this could get embarrassing. Never take it from me, this is something I inherited. In the moment, tell me how you want it. Lately I've been working on my nights, turn in the morning. Wake up, then I get it, never stop, I gotta go again. She just with me, cause the normal life is boring. I'ma keep going to the day I die. And I'ma keep pushing till I touch the sky. Puffin' la 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 la. La 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 la. Yeah, I'm back up on this hustle. Ain't nothing that they could take from me. Ain't keeping up, they don't move at the same pace as me. They just gon' say whatever, but they recognize it's my time. Kinda hard to miss it when your name right on the skyline. Gave them all the guidelines. Guess it ain't for everybody, they still on the sidelines. I got sick of struggling, I made it through the hard times. I got mouths to feed, I put the whole team on the payroll. Seen too many gimmicks, I'm the type that like to lay low. This for all my brothers, know some that would bleed for me. This is why that shorty had to go, she said she leaving me. This for all the nights when ain't nobody else believe in me. This is why these rappers, they do not wanna compete with me.
That's so cool how your music literally has such a different feel to it from one song to the next.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Like, I would bump that in the car. You know what I mean? And I'm very picky with my music when it comes to like energies and stuff like that. I'm a really big believer in like the vibe and the energy, especially like what you're listening to, what you're looking at, it impacts you mentally.
Absolutely.
You know? So like the fact that you can make music that's catchy, that you can vibe to, the fact that like you can sit there and just like bop, really, you know, while you're driving, and like that's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, and it has a positive message.
Exactly.
You know?
That's all it's about. Like I'm super into like self-development and like reading books and like, better my habits and stuff like that. So that's what I like to read about. That's what I like to, surround myself around with people and, things that I do. So that's what I put out in my music. And that's the kind of music that resonates the most with me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like all kinds of music, but the music that resonates the most with me is the music that tells me some kind of message or motivation or something that's going to better me, some kind of lesson to learn.
I'm like excited to like hear the next song because I want to see like how, because the first one was so vibey and chill.
Yeah.
That one was something I feel like the warm weather, you got the windows down and you're just like chilling, long drive, you know what I mean? But like, I want to see what else you got.
Well, we have one more.
Do we have another one?
There's one more.
All right, let me see
This is all
then.
part of the project. So this is this one's called Head Up, and this is the intro, and this is probably like the most intense one.
Counting on my blessings while they counting on their rosaries. Lately I've been feeling I can't trust nobody close to me. I've been on the edge, so just be careful when approaching me. I'm about to claim the city, dog. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Shots go to my head like they go win a reward, but seems they never get to hit me. Y'all keep moving it forward. Me, I just chill and record. Y'all niggas doing too much. Y'all even keeping it score. Y'all niggas losing too much. Like I ain't in the politic and I'm just trying to get my mother rich. I be talking business, y'all can miss me with that other. Used to being broke, now we got diamonds on the road. They used to pray that I would choke, that's why I'm coming for their throats. I give these younger niggas hope, I tell the truth like it's an oath. They tried to bury me alive, then I came up like a rose. Now I'm raising up the bar, it's like I'm raising up the price. They can't tell me what I'm worth, I done slaved too many nights. Look, everybody talking and they all just want a piece now. Living out my dreams and make it hard for me to sleep now. Niggas acting funny, but they sure ain't making me smile. Every time you see me, keep my head up and my feet down. See the way I run it, dying into making peace now. Used to count it out, but I get money in my sleep now. Shorty say she love me, but the love is bittersweet now. Every time you see me, keep my head up and my feet down. Hard for me to sit still, hard for me to watch these rappers telling all these lies and think that they deserve a prize. I'm nothing like these other niggas, you can see it in my eyes. That's why I'm reaching different levels, shouldn't come as a surprise. I see right through your disguise and I despise that shit. A bunch of actors thinking they be on some Batman shit. I'm on my black man shit, and I'll be reppin' to the death of me. I make sure they eat and then I take whatever's left of me. Sticking to the recipe, stacking up residuals. Made it out the city, so they treat me like a miracle. I just double up, I'm not your average individual. It's me and all my brothers, undivided, indivisible. Wake up feeling invincible, laying with it good. I be plotting millions, y'all be plotting getting hood rich. Plotting on some Yeezys while I'm plotting on a new crib. Y'all gon' have to kill me before I ever go and lose this. Everybody talking and they all just want a piece now. Living out my dreams and make it hard for me to sleep now. Niggas acting funny, but they sure ain't making me smile. Every time you see me, keep my head up and my feet down.
You could hear the tonality in your voice was much harsher.
Yeah, I mean,
That was literally like a diss track to like anybody that's ever like, you know?
pretty much. I mean, but you know, that's so I wrote this project right after the show, which was a week after the seizure. So like I started that weekend, and for me to get my headspace back to where I wanted it to be, because I was feeling weird, because I would, been at a very low for me, and then I was also at a very, at the highest point in my musical career. So to go and make this music, I wanted to get myself in the headspace, and that was the first one I wrote, and that was like back to where I wanted to start.
Well, where can our viewers at home find you?
So I'm on Instagram at Suriel781. That's Suriel 781. That's Instagram. That's Twitter, Facebook as well.
Is it just Suriel on Spotify and stuff too?
Yeah, Suriel.
Yeah.
And you can look up the project called What Can I Say? It'll come right up.
Cool.
Well, we want to thank you for coming on to the show. I think you've certainly been entertaining for us tonight. I think, Taylor, you'll agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Awesome,
the first line of that last song like gave me chills. Like genuinely, I got goosebumps.
You can't see with all the hair that's covered.
I know. Such a hairy human being.
Well, we want to thank you for coming on the show, and we look forward to having you back on again with some upcoming projects. We want to go ahead and thank our show producer, AC, for bringing you in, for bringing in the relationship expert. We want to thank Big Mike for running the show here at Performer.com. Taylor, thank you. It's always a pleasure. Thank you. Shucks. And we want to thank our producers behind the camera that make this work each week or whatever. But I'm your host, Joshua Paul. Thank you for tuning in to Night Moves. Over and out.